Hey guys, DM Dave here. Just wanted to put a bit of a disclaimer at the beginning of this episode as it does contain a scene that might be upsetting for some. While it's not graphic or gory, there is an interrogation scene that touches on animal cruelty. And while it is part of the story, it does not represent any views or opinions of myself or the cast members. Thank you all for listening, and we hope you enjoy the show.
Soul, Bobby.
Mm-hmm.
They heard you. They heard everything that you said.
They didn't.
They heard everything you said.
No.
And it is a new intro, Bobby. Don't tell the people otherwise.
All right.
Well, it's new because you're in it now. It's very special to us now. It's, the gang's all here finally. Okay.
All right. We're feeling good. Let's all die.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so ready for this. Wait, I have a question.
Uh-huh.
Why do I not have full HP right now?
I don't know.
Because we didn't take a long rest between fighting the succubus and the big night guy and this.
So stupid. Okay. Okay, sorry. All right.
So, when we last left our heroes, journeying back to the city disguised as Vespera and her companions after stealing or borrowing their magnificent cart, the party made their way to the Saffron Manor, a well-known brothel and inn within the People's Ring district or ward of Dawnsgate. Easily able to outsmart the doorman, the party entered in search of Vespera. However, it didn't take long for the holder of the Book of Love to reach out to Basil directly, asking him to join her, alone. The rest of the party found themselves a room prior to returning to the main common area of the brothel in search of their now missing companion. V, still in the form of Vespara, was invited to a drink with the owner of the establishment, whom seemed to be an old close friend of Vespara. And while V was able to keep up the charade, she stumbled when not realizing the Saffron Manor was named after the man she sat in front of. And with a bit of magical assistance of True Sight, Saffron was easily able to identify the criminals known throughout the city. While V, Scrump, and Wilhelm continued their search, Basil was able to sit down with Vespera on equal ground. There, Vespera told Basil that her alliance with the Crimson Herald was all a fraud, and that her intention was to bring the six tomes together again to release the Sympaths from their prisons. And while Basil was concerned, he did realize the value of a double agent, agreeing to the partnership that would surely claim victory over the Crimson Herald's plans. However, before the pact was sealed with a kiss, a commotion broke out on the floor below. It appeared that Saffron had called the First Sword Guild, hoping to claim whatever bounty was on their heads. And while Basil rushed towards his companions, just as the first guard were reaching the room's door. And so, our story continues. Again, for those of you in the room, you hear a loud bang against the door. What do we do?
Who is it?
V will, not to metagame. So V will, is there like an eye hole or whatever they're called.
There is not an eye hole on the door.
People.
There's not an eye hole. Fuck, I hate this. I don't know. Should I open the door and see who it is? What if it's
Let's
Basil?
get naked. You'll see it'll be real awkward when they open it and we're naked.
Ask him what the password is.
All right, we don't have a password. V will say through the door, "What's the password?"
Okay.
We're fucked now.
Definitely.
As you lean into the door a little bit, calling out, asking for the password, you feel yourself being thrown to the side as the door bursts open, being cracked into tiny splinters. Immediately, you see a number of individuals walk in, 5 to be exact. The first being a large, hulking minotaur wearing very heavy plated armor. Directly behind him, a well-kept individual with beautiful white long hair. His blue eyes dazzle you. Another beside him, another woman with a shaved head with very dark chocolate skin, also wearing heavy plated armor. Behind them, you see what looks like a red-skinned tiefling with a hood over his head. And lastly, a strange individual, mostly human, with what look to be cat ears that poke out from the side.
Cat jam.
As they rush... God damn it. As they rush into the room, Minotaur first, he begins to make his way into the common drop-down area where the couches and resting seats are. V, you stumble over to the side. As the woman with the shaved head and plated armor looks to all of you, she eyes down Wilhelm for a moment, before looking over to Scrump, finally returning her gaze over to you, V. V, I assume.
She's still disguised, right?
Yeah.
She is disguised.
Oh, fuck me.
Ooh.
To the rest of you, this is none of your concern. She turns her attention back to V. You are under arrest for treason, murder, thievery, bribery.
Oh, no. You must be, yeah. You've got your information wrong.
Wilhelm's gonna walk over and help her up, though.
As Wilhelm, you begin to make your way over to V, a large hand is thrusted out against your chest, holding you back. Looking up towards the eyes of the Minotaur, he lets out a large huff as a bit of moist air leaves his nostrils.
Petunia's gonna start growling.
As
all right.
Petunia starts to growl, you see as he reaches down for a sword by his side.
Take it easy. Everyone just relax. What's this all about?
My name is Kalora. I am the captain of the First Sword, and these are my companions. Your friends here, or friend, is a known criminal throughout our empire. She is to be taken in and judged for her deeds.
Oh,
It doesn't make any sense. She's only just arrived in the city. She's a well-respected matchmaker.
As you say this, the individual with the white hair waves his hand, muttering some incantation, dispelling the magic as all of your disguises drop.
Scrump holding the bread is like, oh my god, we've been deceived. It's like a half-eaten.
Right.
all right, look. Yes, we are not who we appear to be, but we are here on important business.
Your business is no concern of ours. You've broken the law. Stand and face your punishment.
Sorry, if I might. Are you Where exactly do your allegiances lie? Do you work for the city?
Yes, of course we work for the city. We are the city guard.
You can't arrest them. Lady V and I are set to be wed, and as the Prince of the Goblin Kingdom, I dare say they have diplomatic immunity. They're coming home with me for the wedding.
The lady, the woman with cat ears looks over and kind of bounds over to you a little bit, flopping down in a bit of a crouch position.
Hello.
Now, sugar. Time to keep it hush. This doesn't concern you. She gives a bit of a smile.
As her future husband, I believe it does. Gives Wii like a
Fucking can't.
strained wink.
Go ahead and
Now-
make a deception check for me, Scrump.
Oh god, I'm horrible at these.
All the deceptions.
That's the only thing I can think of. Why not play the royal card when I can? All right, with a -1 to deception, how can this go wrong?
No,
No way.
absolutely.
There's no way it can go wrong. All right.
Well, you have been granted advantage by the lovely
Oh,
Trip Chattington.
thank God, because I just rolled a 2.
Okay.
So thank you, whoever did that. All right. To 14
Mm.
14.
-1, so 13.
Oh, thanks.
As they all now turn towards you, Scrump, the captain looks you over.
Yeah.
A prince.
Hey, yes.
Display your royal crest.
Ah, crap! I forgot it. Well, I don't have it on me. Wait, do I?
Again,
Hang on. He's gonna like take
the
off his
individual,
backpack.
the individual that you recognize now as the mage, long flowing hair, once again casts an incantation. As Scrump continues to speak, suddenly his voice vanishes.
He does not notice. Continues to speak. He's just gonna keep going. He's gonna search through his backpack. See if I can find this thing.
Oh, you actually have something to try and find. That's great. That's great
I hope
news.
so.
Kalora now looks back towards you, V. On your
yes.
feet. It's time to
Look.
go.
Maybe, hear me out. Maybe we could make a deal. And while she's saying this, is there any windows? Any other way out of this?
we
Good
can make it.
question.
Oh God.
No, that's a good question.
Just thinking about the D&D movie. If anyone's seen that, I don't want to spoil it.
There are no windows within this room.
Come on!
Mostly in
There's only
most of the rooms of this establishment, not too many windows.
So there's only one door, and they're all standing in it.
They are standing close to the doorway, yes.
Motherfuck. Okay. Am I... Can I slip by them? Or no? Is it based on where we're standing?
Hang on. I will show you exactly what you were seeing.
Oh, I hate that. I hate that there's a map. Oh, great. They don't look near the door. They're blocking it.
I mean, blocking it is near it at the same time.
Oh my god. Okay. Also, what is that drawing on the floor? Okay. Oh, it's of her. It's a spear with the. Okay. Anyways, sorry. I'll focus. Maybe we could strike a deal. You look like a group of professionals. We are also a group of professionals. Maybe there's something that we could help each other out with.
You have two options. Stand, come quietly, and complicitly to face the charges against you. Or we have orders to take you in a more aggressive manner.
Oh, I hate this. V will look at.
And Wilhelm's gonna kind of make himself taller, like standing next to the Minotaur.
Afraid we can't let you do that.
The rest of the crew now eyeing towards you all, each of them one reaching for his staff. You can see the tiefling now brandishing a set of daggers. Well, that's your call then.
V's looking at Scrump, seeing what he's feeling like.
He's still looking through his backpack.
Yeah, he's just literally digging through his backpack.
He's
like
been
his back,
talking
yeah.
the entire time.
You just see like the underwear of Atlantis off to the side. And, yeah.
All right. Well, V will draw her rapier.
As you draw your weapon, the rest of them now taking stance. And I need y'all to go ahead and roll initiative for me.
Oh man.
We're inevitable, man.
Sorry,
We don't
just
have to
before we
kill
go
him,
into
we just gotta
initiative,
get
have
out.
I caught up at any point?
You were on your way.
Okay, because I want to do something before I get to them.
Okay. Well, I will let you know as soon as you come into play, Dag.
Sure.
Don't you worry about that. All right, let's move y'all over to the map.
I hate this.
All right, we got them outnumbered.
I don't know what math you're looking at.
Nate, your math is as good as Scrump's, I swear.
Oh, wait, I'm not on their team. I switched teams. You guys looking for a goblin artificer? I'm pretty cool.
Oof.
All right, I rolled a 11 plus 14 total.
Which is big boy.
Initiative.
Big boy math. 4 plus 11 is how many?
I said 14 total.
Oh, 14 total. I thought you said 14.
Yeah. No,
Sorry, my bad.
No, I rolled an 11 plus 3.
Okay, fair enough. V.
Well, I stupidly roll a 21.
21. Very good. Wilhelm.
Me too.
22.
No. Went to one up.
Damn.
Nice.
All right.
19.
Fair enough. With that said, Wilhelm, you are the first to act. What would you like to do, my friend?
Oh, jeez. Okay.
So glad you
As
win
soon as he
initiative.
sees like the other weapons drawn, he is going to, as he's backing up, chamber an arrow or a bolt rather, and he's gonna fire it at the Minotaur. You see him sort of attach a little something to it beforehand.
Oh, sorry, you moved back, so that gives the Minotaur opportunity attack.
I was within 10 feet. He has a 10-foot.
Oh.
Because I was here next to.
Oh, that's where I put you. Okay, you're fine.
Okay. He backs up. You see him sort of mess with this bolt as he chambers it and then launches it towards the Minotaur.
Okay, letting loose the flight. Go ahead and make an attack roll for me.
Ooh, not great. But I have a really high hit DC. It's a 20 to hit.
20
Not 20.
absolutely hits.
I
As
mean,
you see the
35.
arrow fly towards it. It almost pierces through his armor as it kind of jolts him back a little bit. You can go ahead and roll some damage for me.
Okay. That is 11 points of piercing damage.
11 points of piercing damage. Damn. All right, fair
Yes.
enough. Anything else you want to do on your turn?
Well, I need to read. Sorry, I didn't know I was going to go first.
Superiority die.
Okay, it just happens.
If you hit, you get to roll the dice.
Yes. Okay. I'm going to use a superiority die to do a distracting strike. So the next attack roll against them is at advantage.
Okay.
And they also take an extra. I'm going to do it on here because I don't have 4d8 of my own. Wait, that can't be right. 4d8?
Should be 1d8 should be.
Oh, 1d8. Okay. I'll take the smallest roll as a penalty for taking so long on my turn. So an extra 3 damage.
An extra 3 damage. Okay.
And
Fair
then,
enough. So what is your support?
Petunia-
What does your distraction look like?
Yeah, so the thing that he sort of like affixed to his arrows almost is like a confetti, like as it strikes, like a confetti of just like noodles, like spaghetti noodles, just go like all around, like landing on the horns and stuff of the Minotaur.
Okay. One of the strands actually waves down off of his horns, poking him in the eye, causing the extra damage. Is there anything else you want to do in your turn, Bobby?
Al dente.
So as he does that, Petunia rushes over next to V and sort of takes like a defensive stance in front of V, and is going to. I'm gonna have it take the dodge action. Actually,
Okay.
I'm worried about Petunia getting hurt.
Okay. Fair enough.
But she's in front of V, between V and the tiefling rogue.
Okay. As Wilhelm lets his arrow fly, and almost in the same breath calls to Petunia, you watch as she rushes up towards you, V, as she now stands in a defensive state between you and the rest of the first sword companions. What would you like to do? Basil, you're not there yet. Okay.
V has her rapier drawn, and she's going to be pointing it at the horned person here, and she's pointing it in front of her. She's actually going to take some steps backwards, and she's going to say, "Why don't you come over here?" And she's going to unsheath her dagger and throw it at the horned person. I forget their name.
Okay. In that case, go ahead and make an attack roll for me.
Advantage.
Also, if it hits, I'm hoping Petunia counts as an ally, right?
Technically,
does.
yes, she does.
Hashtag bard rogue multi-class. 12 plus 6 is 18.
18
Did you roll
absolutely
an
hits.
advantage?
No, I rolled a disadvantage. Let me roll again. Why do I have advantage?
No. It's against.
Oh, no, you
she's
didn't
not
strike
against
the
the
Minotaur,
Minotaur.
you're
No,
going for
she's
the
going.
tiefling.
Yeah,
Oh.
she's going for the tiefling.
Yeah. Sorry, does it hit, Dave? I didn't
Yes,
hear.
you do
Sorry.
watch the dagger fly loose as it cuts directly beside his shoulder. You see a little bit of blackish blood start to seep out from the wound. Go ahead and roll some damage for me.
Nice. Whoop. What's my dagger damage?
D4, I'm assuming.
Yeah. So 6, 7, and I rolled a 6 on my sneak attack. 6 plus 7 is 13. Oh, I
13
just
points
did
of damage.
fast
Very
math.
good. Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to do on your turn?
Yes.
Here
It's
comes.
it's a perfect time for it. As she's holding out her sword, she's going to cast Bardic Inspiration.
It's not casting. You're not casting. We already
Okay.
talked about this.
Okay. She's not casting it, but you know what I mean. She's
Yeah,
gonna
okay.
whatever do it.
Yeah, I'm fine.
She's gonna do it.
Grabs the mic.
Let's hear the thing.
So V is sort of gonna look coyly back over her shoulder at Wilhelm. And she's gonna say, Wilhelm, did you know your body is made of 60% water? Good thing I'm thirsty.
Why isn't silence a reaction spell, guys? Why isn't that a God damn it. All right, fine. Wilhelm.
Does anybody want to switch teams?
Yeah.
Yeah, you
On
guys
second
could give
thought,
her up right
maybe.
now. I mean, in fairness, you could just be like, nope, you're done.
Yeah.
That's a D8, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, thanks so
Enjoy.
much.
Jesus. All right. Anything else you want to do in your turn, V? Don't care. Okay. Actually, the druid wouldn't have been here anymore. She would have been over by Scrump. So I'm going to put her over here.
Nice kitty.
She looks towards you, Scrump, and gives a wink.
Huh?
You're a little too cute, darling. As you watch as she begins to change in size and form, as she seems to shrink a little bit, falling down on all fours, now changing herself into what looks like a large white wolf, and immediately begins to dash towards Petunia.
Petunia, no.
And she is going to immediately attempt to take a bite action against her.
No.
At disadvantage.
At disadvantage, that's
Wait.
right.
Took the
Did
dodge
she?
action.
Excuse me. Did she have to run past V?
She was out of reach of V.
Fine.
Yeah, she could have ran within 5 feet. Or within 10 feet.
That is going to be a 10 to hit.
For sweet little Petunia, that does not hit.
Yay.
Okay. As she comes up, immediately Petunia kind of twists her version away from the tiefling over to now the wolf in front of her. She doesn't seem scared at all. Very brave in the face of this sort of danger. As the bite heard round the worlds lashes out towards her, she is easily able to move and evade and dodge. She did that. That is going to wrap up her turn. As the captain, now stepping out from behind the mage and the rest, is going to look towards UV as she begins to approach, now wielding a very large scimitar. She begins to slice and slash towards you.
That sounds like multiple attacks.
Huh?
He'll be fine.
Mhm.
Probably not. He'll probably be fine.
Probably did. Yeah.
She begins to attack in an X-like pattern. The first attack
Gonna give it to you.
is going to be a dirty 20 to hit.
Oh,
Well, yes, obviously.
Okay. As it slashes across your chest, you feel the sting of the blade. Being thrown off a little bit, she sees her opening, being a battle-ready combatant, and she lunges towards you, the second being a natural 20. You take a total of 24 points of slashing damage.
Yo, we have to get out of here.
oh my
We gotta
God.
get out.
All right then.
My heart is pumping so hard right now.
And that
V
can be
tries to
used-
stop breathing to slow the blood oozing out of her right now. I'm just kidding. Oh my god.
The mage now looking to the rest of the combatants. Eyes down Scrump as he once again reaches for his book, muttering some type of incantation. You watch as what look like 3 missiles come flying out of the book as it targets you directly, Scrump.
That's gonna be
this is-
automatic hit.
Oh no, it's not. Scrump's
magic
gonna
missile.
look at. He's gonna see it come out of his book. He's gonna He's gonna just grab the underwear of Atlantis and reflexively just cast shield.
Okay, fair enough.
Oh,
As
yeah,
you two,
first
you
level
watch
spells.
as these darts now flying towards you begin to erupt directly in front of the underwear of Atlantis.
He's gonna look back as they kind of explode. He's gonna back and look at the guy and start laughing, but he can't hear him because it's silent.
Okay. As the mage now quickly begins to make his way around his companion, facing off against Scrump directly. And now, Scrump, it's your turn, my friend. What would you like to do?
Scrump's clearly gonna get frustrated. He's gonna look over at his backpack and he's gonna start be like, he's gonna look at the group and then he's gonna look over at the Minotaur with the spaghetti on his hair and he's gonna be like, very confused coming back to this whole scenario. So what he's gonna do, and he's gonna like look through his chest and be like, eh, and he'll take out one potion, combine it with another one. He's going to shake it up and then just very inadvertently toss it. Now, I'm going to land it, Dave. Roll 20. I'm going to mark an area for you. That is Petunia.
I think if you hold down the button.
Yeah. So I'm going to say right there, 5 feet between these two, the druid and the other guy there.
Okay. Are you using your crazy ones?
So I'm using, it's a spell that I haven't tried yet. It's called Flaming Sphere. So it's 5 foot diameter. A sphere appears in an unoccupied choice or space of my choice.
Okay.
So they take 2d6 damage if they fail a dexterity saving throw.
Dex save? Okay.
Yeah, but as a bonus action, which I'm about to do, you see Scrump kind of wave his hands and he's just going to like fan the air in front of him. You see him kind of like blowing his mouth a little bit, and he's going to use his bonus action to actually move the sphere up to 30 feet. If I ram it into a creature, it actually stops the movement, but they're going to take the damage directly. Anybody that also ends their turn within 5 feet of the sphere has to make the dex save as well. So I'm going to slam it into the person beside the druid.
Beside the druid, the guy with the horns?
Yes, the one.
Okay, bear with me. I don't know if I have a fire icon.
You just a dodge, you'll be fine.
Close enough. This'll work. God damn it. There we go. And you said it's 5 feet?
5 feet. Yeah, it's 5 feet in diameter.
5 feet in diameter. Okay, let me do this. Let me do this.
Oh man, changing the color and everything.
I don't know if that works or not. 5 foot?
5 foot, yep.
Okay. And you can control this fire, right?
I can, yeah. Each turn I can control it with a bonus action.
Okay. You have it under control at this point. Okay, so the two individuals have to make dex saving throws, the druid and the tiefling. And then you're going to move it and ram it into who?
So the way it works is the guy with the horns is I'm ramming into him, but the orb will stay there, and if they end their turn within that radius, they'll have to do the dex save.
Do they still have to make the dex saving throw before you do that?
Just the one guy that I'm ramming the sphere into.
Oh, okay. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Dex save is going to be a 13.
That is a fail.
Okay.
Yeah, he takes 2d6 fire.
2d6. What do you got?
We're looking at a 6.
Just 6? No!
Killing it, yeah.
Oh, just 6? Okay.
Yeah, 4 to 2, yeah.
All right,
It's
fair
about
enough.
average.
You watch as the burning sphere hits him directly in the chest. You watch as he goes up into flames a little bit at that point, as he begins to wave his hand around, seemingly quelling the fire down a little bit. Still causes the damage, but he is no longer in flames. Anything else
perfect.
you want to do on your turn, Scrum?
That'll end my turn, my dude.
Okay, fair enough. With that said, it is now the Minotaur's turn, and being very embarrassed by having spaghetti on his head, he is going to move over to Wilhelm. I'm going to put him right here for now. As he tries to rush towards you, you watch as he lowers his head as he begins to charge forward. His horns now brandish his weapons. I'm assuming a 23 hits.
Oh yeah.
Okay. You feel the piercing of the horns as it gores you directly in the belly. You take 13 points of piercing damage.
That the stings.
Oof. Okay, fair enough. As you feel the large horns pierce into your stomach for a moment, he begins to lift his head up a little bit, almost pulling you above his head. However, you're able to shake loose and Abel fall back down on the floor. As he raises his head again, another large breath of mist coming out of his nose.
No hard feelings, right?
And then the tiefling is going to maneuver outside of the fire. What's his movement speed? 30 feet. 15, 20, 25, 30.
God.
As he tries to flank V, you watch as he now brandish two small short swords. First, you're able to evade without any complications. However, the second, he points them down towards you, thrusting towards you, hitting you in both shoulders. With another natural 20,
Stop!
that is
What?
going to be
No.
another 14 points of damage, as well as...
Well. V, with 14 points of damage, V will just crumple to the ground. She's down.
Okay.
That's not good.
That is not good at all.
All right, fair enough. Okay, that is going to end up back at the top of the round. Wilhelm, you're up. What would you like to do?
Oh, okay. Seeing her drop down, Wilhelm.
We'll panic first, obviously.
Panickingly, will step back and towards her. We'll take a step back, and I'll go ahead and take that opportunity attack from the Minotaur.
Oh my
Okay.
god.
Oh, right, because you were in range from it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, as he
Ooh,
takes
that's
out
risky.
his great sword. That is going to be a 17 to hit.
That hits.
Okay.
Oh my god.
A crushing blow with the great axe. You take 15 points of slashing damage.
Man.
He
They are
sort of
just
like
hitting for
holds
double
his
our damage.
side, wincing a bit, and then you'll see him attach something to his bolt and fire it at the horned dude.
Tiefling or Minotaur? You gotta be specific in this
Tiefling.
setting.
The tiefling. Sorry, I forgot about they both have horns. The tiefling. He's gonna fire at the tiefling.
Okay. Fair enough. As you brandish your crossbow once again, letting a flight loose once more. Go ahead and roll an attack for me.
Oh, baby.
Come on.
That is a 22 to hit.
22 absolutely hits. So that and whatever you put on the end of it will tell us what happens.
Okay. What looks like a large empanada
Jesus
comes
Christ.
barreling towards the tiefling and explodes on impact. And I need a saving throw from the rogue. A strength save.
Strength?
Yeah.
What is his strength? That is a great question.
Hoping it shouldn't be good if he's
Not
a rogue.
great.
Yeah.
That is going to be a 7.
Woo!
Okay.
No,
So
no,
he gets
no.
pushed back 15 feet
Okay.
by the blast of the empanada.
Okay. As he goes flying back now, once again skidding through the fire.
Yep.
Give me some damage.
Oh, right. Yeah. Damage. That's a thing. Okay.
Y'all seem so flustered right now. I don't know what the problem is.
Yeah, man, we're
are you
super
talking-
outmatched here, and we're all aware of it. Okay, so that's 16 points plus 7.
16 points plus 7?
I rolled max damage on my bow attack, and then a 7 on the D8 for the superiority die.
Wow.
Okay. So 23 total?
I think so. Is that the right math?
16 and
16 plus
7?
7, 23, yes.
23.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough.
23 points total.
As he skids once again back through the fire, Scrump, go ahead and roll some fire damage for me, because technically his turn
can do
has not begun again. He is in the flames once more. You can see that a part of his
7.
chest has now kind of... A large wound has opened up with scorch marks all around it, kind of bubbling a little bit from the burns caused from it. He's looking pretty beat up at this point.
It's a spicy empanada.
Mm-hmm.
7 fire.
7 more
That's
fire.
that chili
okay.
powder.
As the flames begin to erupt again around him. So, does anyone in that range take fire damage as well, Scrump?
If they end their turn there.
Okay, if they end their turn there. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Okay, with that said, Basil, now making your way to the top of the stair. Sorry, go ahead, Wilhelm.
I still had stuff on my turn. I'm so sorry. It's
All
just
good. No, it's my
lots
fault.
going on.
My
And
fault.
I want
yeah.
to make sure I do
Listen,
everything
I'm trying
I
to
can.
control like 5 people right now. I
get
totally
it.
get it. It's fine.
Yeah, I get it. And with a sharp whistle, you'll see Petunia rush, almost take like 2 jumps, one to the side of the druid and one behind her, staying within her attack range, and showing up in front of the captain. And she's gonna almost like jump and push with all 4 of her feet onto the captain. Use the push action against that.
Okay.
Too.
Okay.
The captain.
Nicely
Go
done.
ahead and make a strength check for
I
me.
made a strength save for them. Shit, you tried, Petunia. It's a nat 1.
Okay.
Oh.
fair enough.
Oh, Petunia!
She rears up on her back legs, trying to thrust forward. She's got a large smile on her face, but the captain is far too quick and nimble as she's easily able to evade out of the way of the push.
Okay.
Scrump. Sorry, go
Just
ahead.
a minute.
Yep.
Action surge.
All right. Okay.
Hell yeah. Yes, yes!
All right. And he is going to then take one further step down. So the way this would have happened in the 6 seconds or whatever is you would have seen him take step back, get sliced, fire 1 empanada at the tiefling, take another step down while still holding it up and firing a second one at the druid. And I need to make a roll for that. It's not great. Well, 16 was a really bad roll.
Sorry, 16 against who?
16 against the druid
Against the druid.
in whatever form they're currently in, which I think is a wolf.
Yep.
Right now.
Which absolutely will hit. As you watch
Thank
as
God.
the arrow flies toward, piercing her in the arm, she lets out a loud yell.
And then I need a strength check from her also.
Okay.
For the pushback.
You watch as she skids across the floor.
All right, and that will be a total of not as good. So 7 plus 2, 9 damage to
9
the
damage.
druid.
All right, fair enough. Okay. Anything else you want to do on your turn?
No, that's it.
No? Scrump, go ahead and roll some damage for Petunia.
Oh god. Scrump's gonna try to yell after Petunia to tell her to get out of the damn way, but
Her pause
That's
as
11.
she
On a
falls
high
back
roll.
from her attack. You watch as a bit of her fur begins to be singed by the flames. What's the damage?
it's a high roll of 11. Because that's how this game works.
Okay, Petunia. You take
Low
11,
rolls on the
She
bad
takes
guy.
11 points.
11 points of
Yeah.
damage.
Poor
Oh.
baby, no.
Oh no.
You hear her
Petunia.
give off a loud yelp.
You see Scrump like,
She hurt.
Okay, fair enough. Basil, now hitting the top of the staircase, you can hear directly down the hallway the amount of battle and commotion that's going on from inside the room. You can see a number of individuals now making their way towards you, trying to flee the scene from the carnage that's happening across from the hall. What would you like to do?
So as Basil comes up the stairs with people sort of rushing to try and get away, Basil makes his way around the corner, looking into the room and seeing the sign of conflict. He sees V on the ground, and immediately his hair starts to sort of twine and sort of arc up. As this happens, the first thing that Basil does is he takes a deep breath, and you feel that energy from Brinny start to flow through his body. He turns around and he says in like kind of this growly, low voice, "The wind that howls the dark of night is not what should give thee a fright. As fear take form, the nightmare swarms, I urge thee all, take flight." And as Basil does this, I'm going to use my bonus action to then summon my Nightmare Hounds. Oh, sorry, not Nightmare Hounds. That's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to... Oh, no, I did. Yes, the
Nightmare
Nightmare
Hounds. Go back in. Yeah, they come back.
So, wait, come back. No, get back. All right. So, as these wolves basically jump out of Basil's hair, this is a bonus action. What it does is I get an extra 1d8 points of damage on any attack I make, and all creatures within 10 foot of me, or at least that start their turn within 10 foot of me, have their speed reduced. What I'm then going to do is I'm going to walk forward into this room, and I will provoke from both of these individuals, the tiefling and the catfolk person.
Okay.
Yep.
Wouldn't it just be the catfolk?
No, because it's on the angle. Like if he came in, he would have come here.
Unless I can.
You can go across there. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Okay.
So it's just the
All right.
one.
Yeah. So I'll provoke from there and move over to where V is. But then what I will also do is, as I get partway through that movement, I'm going to summon my Nightmare. And as I do so, it is going to be just another version of Basil. This is the Wolf Basil. And the form that I'm going to give him will reduce all creatures within 5 foot of me's move speed by 20 foot. Meaning that both the tiefling and the soldier have 0 foot, should have 0 foot move speed unless they're like boosted for something.
Okay, hang on. Let me do this. That, and then we'll do this. Okay, the one in gray is your Nightmare.
Brilliant. Okay, so that one I'm going to put here.
Okay, fair enough. Anything else you want to do in your turn, Basil?
If possible, I would like to kind of pick up V and sort of like, just sort of, pick her up off the ground. But if I've used up all my actions, then that's fine.
Okay, fair enough. Scrump, go ahead and roll some damage for his Nightmare as he's ended his turn in the flames.
I keep doing that.
No, that's fine.
It's an 8.
8, yeah.
8 points of damage.
Easy. Yep.
Okay.
Poor Singe Petunia.
V, as also, Basil,
God.
you take 7 points of piercing damage from the wolf bite,
Sweet.
from the
Yep.
opportunity attack.
Not a problem.
Okay, V,
Yeah.
with your eyes closed, you feel the darkness now surrounding around you. You can hear your friends continuously trying to battle to save you. I need you to go ahead and make your first death saving throw.
I don't want to. Hold on, I need my good dice.
We're doing a good roll, I think.
Okay, I'm using my sparkly bard vice. Oh no, dice.
Just use all your D&D skills.
All my D&D skills are going into this dice roll. Okay, here
Oh,
we
well,
go.
now you just fucked it up.
Ah, Bobby, no! No! Everybody put the good vibes into the dice. Okay.
Okay, I'm thinking good vibes. Beaches and hammocks.
I rolled a 10. What does that mean?
It's like right in the middle.
That's a fail.
It's a fail?
That's a fail.
Yeah,
You need 11 or
just-
higher.
Yeah, it's 11 or higher, so you just barely failed on
You
that.
fail
roll.
your first death saving throw. Okay.
No.
What's your proficiency on death?
Better hope you don't get hit. Hopefully you were meant to be brought in alive. Everything's gonna be okay. Don't cry.
Oh,
Bobby,
no.
you know it's probably not best just to string them along like that. Like, no.
Oh, people are saying a 10 is a success.
10 is
I
a
don't know.
success?
I don't. a lot of people are saying that in chat, and I just wanted to point it out. But
Maybe I should look up the rules.
Okay, I'll listen to chat. Chat's smarter than I am. Sorry, a success. First is a success. B-Town,
What's up?
stop it. You're crazy. Thank you so much for the 1,000 bits. Appreciate that. And thank you for getting my attention. Well done. That is a great way to do it. If you ever want to get my attention, just give us 1,000 bits. I promise I'll pay attention. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Okay,
Oh,
first,
it is. 10 is.
first is a
100%.
success.
Yeah.
For some reason, I thought it was 11.
I accepted it as truth too until I saw chat. So.
Me too. Yeah. Chat just saved my life.
Okay.
Think okay?
Yeah, I'm just looking at something right now.
That's ominous.
How fucked we are? Is that what you're looking at?
Yeah,
That's what I'm
that's,
looking
that's
at.
pretty much, yeah.
How much damage can I do in one turn?
How badly can I hurt everyone?
I feel
Right.
you have the ability to TPK right now. Petunia, it's okay.
Petunia down.
Okay. Petunia's mad as hell right now, I'll tell her. The druid is going to once again dash through the flames, now coming up from directly behind, situating herself directly in the center. 5.
So real quick,
15.
Does the aura that I have when she gets near me kick in when she goes past me?
How far is the aura?
20 foot. Oh, sorry. Let me just double check that. I think it's 10 foot.
10 foot? Then
Yeah,
it
10
would have affected her.
Okay, so she knocks down her speed by 10 foot.
Okay.
Nice.
So that's 10. She's got another 10 feet. 5, 10, just outside there. Okay, fair enough. She rushes over in her wolf form as she lets it fall now, pulling herself back up onto her feet. You watch as she claps her hands together while muttering an incantation, casting Thunder Wave. I need everybody to make a Constitution saving throw for me.
Hey, Dave, if I'm silent,
What?
does this affect me?
Sorry? Doesn't affect
If
you,
I'm
Scrump. It's
silenced.
15. It's 15 feet.
Oh, jeez, okay.
So Wilhelm, Basil, VU automatically take the damage. So that's a failed death save for you. And as well as Basil's nightmare thingy.
Yo. Druid's fucking wild.
You'll be okay. You passed the first death save. That's
Con
something.
saves? Anybody? Con saves? Wilhelm? 5? Basil?
Yeah. Fail for me and fumble for my shadow.
Okay, fair enough.
God.
Rolls are not with us tonight, man.
You all take 11 points of damage.
Imagine.
And each of you are pushed 10 feet away. 5, 10, 5, 10, 5, 10, 5, 10. Okay.
Does V's body get pushed too?
No.
Okay.
It doesn't say anything. It just says 10 feet away. It doesn't say anything. I'm gonna rule that if you're prone, you're not gonna like slide across the floor. I don't like. What are those things called? What are those things called? Splinters. Never good.
You don't like splinters.
I'm not a fan of splinters. Yeah, not a fan of splinters. Okay, that
Technically, each
is.
splinters is an individual hit, so you take 20 hits to your death save.
She that's going to wrap up her turn. The captain is going to attempt to reach down and pick V up. I am going to say, Basil, you can make a contested throw because you are right there.
Okay.
So we'll do it in the form of a grapple over V. So either athletics or acrobatics for you.
I will go with acrobatics.
Okay.
Ooh, that's a natural one, but could I use my inspiration to re-roll that?
Did you get inspiration? Did someone give you? Someone did give you inspiration. Okay.
No, no, no.
Actually do that.
DM inspiration.
Oh, you
Yeah,
got
I
DM
had a DM
inspiration?
one.
Yeah, go ahead. Well,
Yeah.
you do have an inspiration from the folks at home, so you can go ahead and use that as well.
I will also use that. Yes. Oh my freaking god. Because. Oh my god! All right. I'm not joking. I went natural 1, natural 20.
Very good.
Hey!
Oh, chat. Freaking.
Oh my god.
Okay.
You uncorked the dam
as
of
you
bad
two kind
rolls.
of at the same time reaching down towards V. You fight over her body for a moment before letting your wolf loose. You pull back and with one hand push away on the captain as she stumbles back a little bit. You easily kind of embrace V into your arms. Okay, and with that, she is going to brandish her scimitar against you, Basil. That is definitely going to be a hit as you take 7 points of slashing damage from the scimitar.
Right. I am on 2 hit points remaining, but as I get hit, now that I do have V now that we've had that contest.
You do.
I'm going to use my reaction to use my Misty Escape, and I'm going to teleport 60 foot back into the main hall with V, leaving an illusion version of me and V there, and being invisible in the main hall.
Okay.
Oh.
Is it a true teleportation, or is it you go invisible and then move it?
Oh, actually, that's a good point. Let me double check. Yada yada yada. Resistance to psychic. Once I take damage. No, it is also a teleport. So I turn invisible and I teleport.
Okay. What level
So I don't
are
know
you casting this
I
at?
don't know the difference between that and a true teleport.
What level is this?
It's not. It's my class ability. It's
And there's no
let me check,
contested
let me
roll
check.
against it?
It's called no. It's called Misty Escape. I can find out more details. Give me a hot moment.
What's your spellcast level?
My current level. I don't have any mixed level, so 6.
6? Okay. That's that. So even if that's... Okay, in that case, you watch as the white-haired mage once again mutters an incantation counterspell. You ain't going nowhere.
It's not a spell. It's is that the equivalent if I'm using it as class ability?
I mean, technically, okay. That is again because what is the actual spell that you're casting? Because it's reskinned. Everything's from what my understanding, what we talked, it was reskinned.
Yes.
So
yes.
what is it? What is it otherwise?
I believe this was an ability that we got from the Nightmare King Pact stuff.
Okay, I just need to know what spell it is or what the feat is called.
So it wasn't a feat. So what it was is it's a class ability that is once per short rest. When I receive damage that I do not reduce or block, I teleport to an unoccupied space within 60 foot and cast invisibility on am invisible for 1 round.
So that is Misty Escape. You can vanish into a pessimist. When you take damage, you can either reach. You can use your reaction to turn invisible and teleport 60 feet to you remain invisible. Okay, fair enough. If that's the case, then never mind. I do not cast counterspell. You can go ahead and move your token to where you see fit. I feel like that's kind of ridiculous that you can just teleport to that you can see.
Oh, that I can see? Oh, then definitely out. So I'm going to angle that outside the door over there. Yes.
Okay. So I would say that you can teleport. It doesn't say anything about bringing a person with you. So you can teleport, but V will remain there.
Okay. In that case, I will not use that.
Okay. Okay. That is going to end their turn. It is the mage's turn now. Do.
What a roller coaster
This.
that was.
Yeah.
Looking up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, look, that's all I got.
Who's up?
It is the mage, as he is going to step forward beside Petunia. Once again,
Leave my dog alone.
uttering an incantation. You watch as bluish mists start to appear around his hands as he thrusts them forward, casting Cone of Cold. I need Scrump and Basil. I need you both to make Constitution saving throws for me.
This is so bad. This is so bad.
13.
Okay, Basil.
16.
Okay. Basil, you are successful. Scrump, you are not. As you feel the cold hit your body, you take 42 points of cold damage.
Whoa. Okay. One-shot attacks.
Starting to think we aren't supposed to win this fight.
Okay.
I never
Dude,
thought we
I've
were
been
supposed
trying to get out of here.
I've also been trying to make
leave since the beginning.
like a hole for us to get out. I don't think that's gonna happen.
Fuck.
And that brings us to Scrump's turn. 42 points of damage for you, Scrump.
Okay. All right.
And you're up. What would you like to do?
Let's see. I take a look at the old roll 20 map here for a second. D&D rules, if I throw any sort of healing towards V, they're revived to 1 health, correct?
If you stabilize, if you're offering,
Stabilize. There has
if
to
you're,
be a certain thing to stabilize.
no. If you heal them, they get HP back.
Okay.
I thought you were
All right.
gonna heal me.
He's like,
Yeah, no, good to
I was
know.
like,
All
never
right,
mind.
I'm not gonna do
goodbye.
Good to know. Good to know. Thanks.
Okay, just checking. I didn't want to do anything. I'm just double checking. Some crazy weather we're having out there, eh? Everybody's so scattered. All I have is AoEs and I'll hit someone else. So, seeing as how I'm right beside Mr. Giant Minotaur Man.
Yeah, we got shockwaved. That's why everyone like kind of billowed out from that where it started.
Yeah.
This is tense. It's tense, boys.
And it's interesting, and every time I like get a plan, somebody does something, I'm like, all right, gotta make a new plan.
You guys
so-
you guys are stacked with temptation dice as well now.
definitely help.
Okay.
Thank you, Jet.
Yeah.
Okay.
What are we doing, Strum?
Time for
We're gonna scrump it up. Scrump it up, baby.
So many
Scrump it up.
options. It's just, what don't we do? That's the thing, I just got so much plans. Am I within 5? Is that 5 feet of that Minotaur, or is this token just really big?
Nope, you were in 5 feet. He is very large.
Okay. All right. Check here. Okay. Can I, using Nimble Escape, Scrump is going to be like, oh man, it's getting bad. He's going to go ahead and he's going to look around for something. Can I just hide
Using nimble
Video game rules. Nimble escape is I can disengage as a bonus action. So I think I'll disengage instead. So
Okay.
I'll use that disengage, and then I'm going to cast Healing Word on V.
Yes. Oh my god. You do have healing. This is so exciting.
Do. Now, of course, Scrump's not just going to use Healing Words. That's silly. It's all potions on Remembrances. So he's going to take a what looks to be like a caulking gun, and it's essentially just full of what you call the polysporin and the neosporin. And you're just gonna like shoot it. You just kind of see this glob just kind of land on V.
Ew.
You got globbed.
Grab it in.
You got scrumped.
You got screwed. Oh god.
All right, go ahead and roll some healing dice for us.
Okay, perfect. We get 2d4 plus 2 because I'm casting at second level. Which now, before I cast at second level, Dave, did we confirm if I cast healing, does it heal for the value from 0 to like whatever I roll here? They have that for health, or does
Yes.
it just bring them to 1 because
Yeah,
they're stabilized?
healing. The way I play healing is if you cast a healing spell, if you stabilize someone, they go back to 1 hit point. If you actually try and heal them using magic, then they retrieve. They receive all of the healing potion
Okay.
or healing spell, not potion.
All right. So. You heal for a total of 10 health, V, which is not enough to take even 1 hit from one of these guys. So I want to think about what your plan is.
Hey,
And
you know
then-
what? At least I'm not on a death save anymore. So that's
True.
great.
You
Seeing as
reawaken
how I did.
in the arms of Basil.
Oh,
And you feel slightly gooey.
he
Yeah.
doesn't say that.
You've been slimed as well. Apparently, we're doing
Mhm.
Nickelodeon brothels tonight. It's cool.
Well, it's
cool.
normally something he would apply as a balm, but I mean, when in a panic, more of it just makes sense, right?
Yeah.
So, Yeah.
Right.
so my
I
disengage.
appreciate being scrum.
So you guys know I am disengaged, Dave. I'm gonna straight up just run away from Mr. Minotaur Man, and I'm gonna sort of run beside Tunya here. I think that's my 30 feet.
Okay. Fair enough.
Looks about right.
Okay.
I'd like to be on like where that plus is. I want to be more closer to Petunia than I am to. But yeah.
Okay. Still pretty upset about being noodled. The Minotaur is going to make his way over towards Wilhelm, getting an opportunity attack against from Basil. Basil, go ahead.
No.
I'm good.
And what about me?
Okay.
Bye.
Me?
Have a beautiful
What
time.
about me?
Fair enough. The Minotaur approaches, taking out his great sword, and is going to swing against you once again, Wilhelm. 22 is going to hit as it slashes down hard. You take another 17 points of damage.
Stop with that.
And with that, Wilhelm
No!
Now we're playing whack-a-mole.
teeters
We need
for
a
a
plan.
bit, and then
No.
just with a loud thump
No,
on the
we-
hardwood.
Bobby, we just got the intro video done.
There it goes, man.
No!
The Minotaur,
How
in
does my
watching you fall,
beast companion
stretches
work with
his. She's sad. She's very sad. Stretches his arms out in victory against his opponent. Looking very rough at this point in time. The Tiefling Rogue is going to face off against Basil's illusion, and is going to take 2 attacks with his short sword as well. Only one seems to attack as you take 6 piercing damage, as well as 5, 10, 12, 18 points of sneak attack.
That is. Sorry, what was the first damage?
First damage was 6 piercing.
Okay. That's 24. All right, he's still good.
Okay, fair enough. Who's here that I can pick on right now? Evan's here. He was the last person. Evan, high or low for your benefit? Just say high or low in chat.
It's a good
Okay.
move, Evan. We've been rolling low all night.
Okay.
Yeah. I rolled high for my initiative. That's about it.
Basil. With all of your companions falling, now seeing a V on the ground, feeling very beat and brutally viciousized. Yes, I'm going to make up a word. Viciousized against the first sword. You watch as Wilhelm goes down. Suddenly a voice is heard, but not in your mind. Directly beside your ear. Seems my newest companion could use some assistance. You feel a little bit of a poke in your sides as you look down, now seeing a magenta book in your hands. I assume you know how these work.
Basil doesn't hesitate. He immediately
Hang on,
like
hang
he's
on.
still-
Hey, wait for
Yeah,
your
sorry.
turn.
Yep.
Wilhelm,
Yep,
first
okay,
death saving
yep.
throw for me.
Ah,
No.
Here we go again.
Oh no. I'm gonna cry.
3.
Okay. One down.
That's it. Jesus.
It's okay. It's okay. Do I get my turn? Do I get my turn now?
V, you're up. What would you like to do?
All right, V coming to, wondering why she is covered in ooze, and Basil looks wolfy, and Wilhelm is down. She's not even going to take time to process what's happening, and she is just going to cast. At this point, like, who the fuck cares? We're already being taken in by the guards,
Don't forget about
so
the
she's
counter
going to
spell.
cast. What, Nate? Why would you say that aloud to remind the person who can use the counter spell? What? Why? V will use counter. Not fuck, Nate. V
Jesus.
will use healing word. I will not change what I was gonna say because I don't want to. Whatever. I was gonna do it at second level. Healing word on Wilhelm.
He's gonna play dead.
All right. So that is 4, 6, 10 points of healing.
Thank you. I'm alive.
Okay. Wilhelm, are you playing dead at this point?
Well, her turn came after mine.
It did. I'm just asking if you're playing dead at this
Okay.
point still.
Is the Minotaur still towering over me and looking
He's-
at me?
Going wrong.
He's now turned his attention. He's not paying attention to you on the floor at this point.
No, he'll get up, I guess.
Okay. You begin to get yourself up.
Quietly.
V, is there
Quiet.
anything else you want to do on your turn?
Oh. Yeah. She will use her her bonus action to use her last bardic inspiration to not cast. She's going to jump, I guess, down out of Basil's arms, put her feet down, and she'll sort of like I don't know, like whip her blade around, and you'll see a swing, and she uses her defensive flourish.
Okay. Fair enough. All right.
This
Basil,
gives her like AC bonuses and
you're up. What would you like to do, my friend? Now with Pink
First
Book in hand.
Holding it in my hand, I'm going to just take a deep breath before I thrust open the book, and I have the pages sort of ruffle through. Having never used the power before, I know that Basil, when he learned about the Black Book, was very reserved and searched it piece by piece and took years to like really understand it. He doesn't have the luxury here. This is just this huge, chaotic. We are on the back legs, and I'm just going to tap in as much energy from this book as I can into Basil directly and just send it outwards from him, trying to target the first sword.
Which one?
Starting with the one right next to me, but as many as I can. Again, I've never used this book before, so it's if this is an area of effect, so be it. If it is not, then that one.
Okay. I don't know what you're pointing at your screen.
That one. Come on. That one.
All right. I'm going to say that you're going for the captain. Okay. All right. Fair enough. As you begin to read over the incantation, viciously flapping through the pages of the book, you call out the incantation that you find.
Yes, catchy cantrips, you did raid into chaos, and thank you for the raid.
Very
Okay.
much so.
Yes.
You all watch as Basil begins to emanate a pinkish, hueish glow that seems to completely surround him at this point. Everybody stops to stare, seeing exactly what's happening with Basil as he vanishes. The illusion now disappearing as well, as what seems to be a book falls on the floor, open. V, you've seen this once before, or at least heard of this once before. You immediately think back to Basil's parents' kitchen's house.
No.
Oh.
The rest of the squad now immediately begin to look around, very confused of all of this. The druid, not knowing what to do, stops to look towards the captain, is going to hold her action as the captain yells out, "Enough of this! Stand down, all of you!" The rest of her crew obeys her command. Scrump, you're up. What would you like to do?
So confused.
Kill him. Just kidding.
Oh man. Okay. So to recap, Basil just got pulled through a book.
I mean,
Would you know
Basil
that?
using
Actually,
his-
make a perception check for me, Scrump.
Basil's using the tried and tested strategy of arriving to the battle late and leaving early.
Yeah. He's
Hey,
very
nat
good
20.
at
How's
parties.
that sound?
He's very, very good at parties.
Finally.
It was sort of like you walked in and then, okay.
And beautiful
See you
time, thanks
later.
everyone.
Cool. Abe Simpson grabbing his hat, turning around. I did say it, but I think we're all PTSD because it don't happen that much. But I'll get it at 20.
Nat 20. So as
Wow, not 20.
as the rest of the individuals in the room kind of shielded their eyes from the bright magenta glow, you did seem to catch a small glimpse of when the light began to dissipate. It seemed to suck back down into the pages of the book.
This is the most Scrump shit I can think to do right now, so we're going to do it.
He's
Scrump's just gonna
scrump
run
it.
across the room and he's gonna head dive into the book.
Okay, fair enough. As Scrump head dives towards into the book, another glow of magenta bursts out from
Thank
the
God.
room before Scrump 2 now disappears.
Whoa, okay. He's like, I'm so glad that worked.
The Minotaur, not knowing exactly what to do, begins to make his way over to the book itself as he reaches down and begins to pick it up.
Whoa! Can I contest it? Or no? Not my turn. Oh, shut up. Sorry.
High or low for your benefit?
Always high.
That's a 16. You can attempt to contest. So give me either an acrobatics or an athletics check for me.
She will use acrobatics.
Okay.
V.
Um,
Oh, that's
Maybe
right.
use
I
the
forgot.
temptation
And,
die.
Wilhelm, since you're back on your feet, you do get an opportunity attack against the Minotaur.
I'm good.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm
You're
not
okay.
gonna-
That's fine.
Yeah, that would
Just not
serve.
even
That would
attacking
serve
them.
no purpose for me right now to piss him off any more than I
Right.
already have.
Fair.
But I'm out of superiority
All
die,
right.
so I can't like do any kind of maneuvering on him. Sorry, go ahead.
All right, team. I rolled a 22. So should I take a temptation dice?
Why not, man? We don't know what it does yet.
Yeah, fuck it. You know what? I'm gonna take a
Add that
temptation
decent. Just
dice.
make it a sure
That's
thing, because
easy.
that seems kind of important.
Yeah. Yeah. What is this? A D6? Dave? Temptation dice?
D6 is, yeah, temptation dice. Let me write this in my book.
He makes a big scene about it too. As he,
Yep, gotta make
Let
sure
me
that I
grab
get
my
this in my
notebook
book.
real quick
Yep, no
and
big
write
deal.
down your name.
You can go ahead and make your roll. That's fine.
Okay.
Wow, there's so many
Okay,
V's
good
in
news.
here.
I rolled-
Oof. Sorry, what were you saying?
Listen, I'm on borrowed time in this campaign anyway. Sorry. So it's a 5. So 22 plus 5
27.
is 27.
27. As V is able to
Yeah.
wrangle the book away from the Minotaur using her dexterous skills, V, you immediately begin to feel yourself be pulled into the book.
Oh, as she's going, she's gonna say, "Come along, Wilhelm."
Thanks for that.
Okay, that's all you're doing?
I
You're just
mean-
yelling?
Oh, if I have more time, I don't know. I just assumed it was like an instant thing. I'm being sucked into the book right now.
You feel yourself being pulled into the book. You can feel yourself, the typical feeling of teleportation that you've felt many, many times before. Being lurched towards the book. You can see the pink aura now building up your body. What are you doing? What are you doing?
Does
You
she
smell
have
the
does she have
farts
time for
rumbling
an action
behind.
or no?
I'll give you one action,
I'm asking,
one
is
free
it just
action.
like-
What are you doing?
One free action. V will shoot another first level healing at Wilhelm. She'll cast. Why isn't my sheet working? Healing word. Wilhelm. That's 2 + 4, 6 points of healing.
There's no
And
point in
as she's
doing
going
that.
into the book, I'm helping.
I
as much as
appreciate
I
it.
can, man.
I appreciate it.
And she's just gonna say, Wilhelm, come, we're going into the book now. She's going in.
You're going to yell that out loud. Okay, fair enough. With that,
No,
V
okay,
vanishes.
okay.
V vanishes.
Oh no, V.
Jesus Christ.
Oh no.
As the book falls to the floor, directly in front of the captain. Using her scimitar, she uses it to close the book.
Oh no.
Oh come on.
No.
As she kicks
Yeah.
it over to the sides, all combatants now turning towards Wilhelm.
Oh god. Well.
The captain
Pulls out a
begins to
grenade Scrump gave him.
The captain begins to approach, with her companions directly behind, weapons still drawn. But as she gets closer to you, Wilhelm, she stows her scimitar away. We're going to have a little chat. As the book seems to vanish. And
I
that's
know
where
when
we're
I
going
meet.
That's where we're going to take a short rest for the evening.
This is not
Well,
good.
fuck.
I love it.
Okay. I did not
I
expect
am
that
not
to
the
go
cook
that
you're
way.
looking for.
First and foremost, thank you so much for all the raiders. Can we get a shout
I
out
do
for our
nothing.
friends over at Nat 20
Yeah.
Adventures? Thank you guys. Thank you so
Yeah,
much
what's
for
up,
joining
guys?
us for the evening. We're D&D with I was going to say we're D&D with me.
We're D&D in
No, we
general.
are
now.
D&D.
D&D with me. We're taking over your channel,
Welcome. We're taking Peter's
the
channel
D&D
over
with
for
me
the
shirt.
evening.
We have the logo. It's right here.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was doing. I was staring at Nate's shirt. We are Careful Cantrip. We are obviously a D&D live play as well as a whole bunch of other shenanigans. And we are going to be taking a short rest. We'll be back shortly. We're just going on a little BRB screen at the moment. But we do take questions while we are on break. So if you have questions about the campaign, the characters, the DMing, life, universe, or anything inside of it, go ahead and drop down in the comments below, and we will answer them as soon as you get back. But to all those who are sticking around, guys, go get your apple juice. Go get your orange juice. Go get your scrump juice. Delicious. And we will be back after a very short break. We'll see y'all soon. And we are back, folks. Welcome back. Holy Jesus Christ, it scared the crap out of me. Jesus Christ. Oh, we're not in combat anymore. Roll 20, if that's your real name. Let's just simmer on that for a quick moment, shall we? Okay, we did have a few minor questions on chat, so we'll go ahead and go through those. Welcome back, everyone, by the way. First and foremost, question for Dave, all in caps. Why? Senhas.
Why,
I gotta make it
man?
exciting. You know, I can't just, this isn't, the training wheels are off at this point in time. They are on their own. They gotta do what they think is best, and that was their best. Can't pin this on Dave. He gave him plenty of opportunity to surrender. Thank you. I appreciate that. Question for V. Do you realize you can't hold a guard murder over Sicarius's head anymore?
Yes, I can. You know how many times I wanted to say it wasn't me, it was Sicarius?
That's kind of how we got in this situation in the first place, isn't it? How we got them wanted posters up.
So you're not wrong. For Basil, Cross Jacket from Cantrip Chronicle. Are you looking forward to meeting your great or grand aunt?
My grand aunt. Oh, honestly, I feel like this is gonna be one of those like weird family cookouts where you've got that like ridiculously hot single aunt who like goes to the pool party wearing far less than she should, and you sit there as like this really awkward teenager trying not to make eye contact.
That's very specific, Beck.
I've had a rough childhood.
Fair. All right. We don't need to go into that right now. Okay, and those were all the questions that we had on chat. So let's go ahead and jump back into tonight's episode. Where's my happy music? There we go. Wilhelm.
Hello.
As the rest of the First Sword begin to surround you, are you putting up any kind of struggle at this point?
No. I know when I'm beat.
He'll holster his large crossbow and whistle Petunia over, who is definitely limping at this point, and he's just going to show some comfort to her. That's
okay. As Petunia begins to make her way over, you watch as the druid mutters an incantation, as a vine whips out from her hand, wrapping around Petunia's neck like a leash. It furthermore goes down her nose and... what are those things called?
muzzle.
Yeah. Down her muzzle as it completely closes her mouth. You can hear her still trying to growl underneath it, but the druid pulls back harshly, keeping Petunia away from you.
That's hardly necessary.
The Minotaur, now roughhousing you, spins you around and pushes you up against the wall before brandishing some of the you wouldn't have seen this. Perhaps Grimoire did, but brandishing the anti-magic cuffs and putting the irons on your back behind you. They begin to lead you out the front doorway. You see a number of individuals now coming out of the room with the commotion having died down as you complete a walk of shame. They continue to lead you out the front door. You can hear Saffron muttering something to the captain, something about payment, but she ignores him. Leading you outside of the Saffron Manor proper, you can see a large carriage awaiting you, made completely of metal. before they open the back door, pushing you inside, as well as Petunia, leaving the muzzle on her nose. The door slams shut from behind you. As you begin to feel the bouncing, as the carriage begins to make its way. The ride doesn't last for very long. 20 minutes to half an hour at max. Before the door once again swings open, you can see a little bit of a glow from the Everlights still lighting the streets, as it is still the dead of night at this point. As they pull you out the back along with Petunia, you find yourself in front of a very large stone building. No accents, no over-the-top flourishes, just a single banner that hangs down, a large golden sword on the front of it. As they push you inside, you find yourself in what seems to be a bit of a reception area. You can see a number of the more mundane town guards throughout. An older gentleman with an eye patch approaches the group.
Aye. See you caught another one, Captain. Well done.
Yes, not the one we wanted, but I'm sure this one will have answers all the same. The elder gentleman nods before they continue to push you down a hallway. Continuing to walk down, you see, again, no other intricate carvings, no tapestries of any kind, just stone, sterile walls. Before they stop you and lead you into a room, nothing more than a bench. As they set you close to the bench, they take off the shackles, two of them still holding your arms, as they lift up your arms and shackle you to the wall. You see a large collar being placed around Petunia's neck on the opposite side of the room, on a very short leash. The captain stands silently in front of you. As the druid once again waves her hand, vines now popping up from the ground, forming what looks like a chair, as she sits down directly in front of you. So, why don't we start at the beginning? And I urge you not to lie, and I urge you to be truthful. Oh, this will not end well for you, she looks over her shoulder, or your companion.
Dare they threaten the dog? Get him, chat.
Why don't we begin with your involvement with this group?
If you recall, I asked you when we began our little scuffle where your allegiances lied. And if it's true that you work for the city, in my mind, I see it either one of two ways. Either one, you're cowards. Or two, and much worse, your values align with that of the well-manicured and equally wretched elites that run this city, that take no issue in tearing families apart simply for being gifted. I think you'll find I won't lie. And you may find some of what I have to say helpful. But you likely won't get the answers you're looking for.
Tell me how long and how far did you have to fall to associate with murderers, thieves, The worst of the worst.
100 ways to make butter. Or uses for butter, rather.
Yes.
Number 1. Place a slab of butter on any pan to create a non-stick surface.
As you continue to read out your manifesto of the uses of butter, the captain looks over to the mage and nods, pointing his finger forward towards Petunia. You see a blast of electricity. It envelops the small Petunia, or large Petunia, as she lets out once again another yelp of severe pain as you see her shake and fall to the floor. The captain turns back towards you. What was that you were saying about butter?
Number 2. Butter is essential in any cream-based sauce. Much,
And he like looks at her in the eyes.
like love, is essential for life to be fulfilled.
Another
Tell
yelp
Wilhelm.
from the corner as another blast of shockwave hits Petunia. You see her look over to her for a brief moment. She's now very unable to stand, her legs shaking underneath her. The captain looks towards you. This is your last chance. If you decide not to assist us in our inquisition, neither you or your companion will walk away from here alive. Do these people mean that much to you?
Number 3. Butter carving can be a wonderful way to make a splash at any dinner party.
And he's just looking at Petunia. The whole time he's talking now, completely not looking at the captain anymore.
The captain looks towards the mage and nods her head. As the mage lifts his finger once more, the captain calls out, "Not here. Take her outside." As you watch the droopy eyes of Petunia look towards you once more, you can feel her calling out to you. But she can't with the muzzle. Again, the druid now casting, creating a vine leash once more, pulling her outside of the room. A few moments pass before you hear one last loud yelp. Well, it seems your criminal friends are more important than your companions. Clearly, we'll get no further information out of you. She stands up. As the vine chair seems to dissipate all around you. You will be executed in the morning. I hope that it was all worth it. As she turns and begins to walk out the door.
As she's leaving, he'll just say,
Hope it was worth it for you too.
To the rest of the group. You feel once again a familiar pull. This is no new feeling to any of you. as the teleportation effects once again wash over your bodies. As you find your footing once more, you find yourself in the entranceway of a fantastical bathhouse. What seems to be a gorgeous and luxurious sanctuary. The bathhouse embodies a mythical sense of indulgence, where elegance and serenity intertwine. You see intricate mosaic designs, marble statues, and what seems to be a domed glass ceiling with the illusion of a beautiful starry cosmos sky. In center of the room, a large rectangular pool surrounded by what seem to be private alcoves filled with a number of individuals that all seem to be, well, humanoids in anatomy. You're easily able to decipher this due to the extreme lack of clothing that everyone doesn't seem to wear. And while a bit more nudity than the previous establishment, the vulgarity is completely removed. Many of the individuals are paired with a mate, some laughing with each other, some feeding their partners, others simply staring into each other's eyes, all in various emotional, loving acts. The pool provides what seems to be aromatic steam that fills the room with intoxicating scents of oils and floral tones. And seated in the waters at the opposite end of the pool, the vivacious Lady of Love herself, Athena. Her skin as smooth as silk in a pastel mint green tone. Her voluminous magenta hair wrapped loosely in a bun, giving full view of the soft curvatures of her neck. She seems almost in bliss as the attendees massage her shoulders from the pool's edge. While a few individuals walk past you, hands held, they simply smile and nod, acknowledging you as they pass by. The two seem to disappear into an private alcove. What would you guys like to do?
Scrump's going to take a step forward and immediately throw up a little bit.
Of course, he does.
Every time. I'll look back. Where's Wilhelm? Me? Basil?
I thought he was right behind you.
He was across the room, and then I was sucked into the book, and I told him to follow.
If you told him he should be here any second, then.
How do we need to go back? How do we get out of here?
Basil will point towards the bathhouse. We have to see her Lady Athena.
Oh, yes, I suppose I should ask how are we even here? I'm guessing. Wait, hold on. What do we know? You just left, and V will push back.
Ah! What the hell?
Sorry, had to figure out what I knew and what I didn't know. Where did you go? You just walked away.
Look, there with okay. So first, and then she and I, okay. First of all, I'm glad you're alive. Secondly, yes, I got a mental projection from Vespera. She wanted to meet me privately, and well, in order to gain her trust, I didn't want to betray that, and it seemed as though you and Wilhelm and Scrump had your idea of establishing Vespera, and I feel as though disguised as the elf man, I could get by relatively unnoticed as all eyes were on... and I gesture, but I kind of turn my eyes away. Anyway, I had a meeting with Vespera, and she told me her stance on things. She does want to bring about the rising of the Sympaths, but apparently that is where her alignment differs from the Crimson Herald. Crimson Herald wants to resurrect a dead god called the Butcher, a being of war and hate and death and all that other good stuff, and Vespera has no intention of allying themselves to that cause. So we came to an arrangement that whilst both of us are in service to our prospective sympaths, we would ally in a bid to try and stop the Crimson Herald from raising the Butcher. And so we sealed our deal with a kiss, and she offered to help us, which is how I ended up with the book and how we ended up here. Just in the height of the battle against the First Swords, I don't know, the book was just in my hand, and next thing I know, we're here, and...
Sorry, say that part again.
Well, the next thing I know, the book was in my hand, and then we were here.
Before that.
Vespera wants to ally with us in order to stop the rising of the Butcher.
Right, did you say that you sealed it with a kiss?
Yes, the culture of ensuring deals.
I've made a lot of deals. I usually don't kiss people.
Look down at Scrump.
Just saying.
You're worse.
Of all the things this guy has done in his life, that's where you've drawn. Anyway, Basil realizes what he said and realizes, oh,
it's fantastic. I'm so that's fantastic.
That's
great. I'm
it
glad
wasn't like it
that,
just.
no,
Look,
really.
But
If
our
you're
lives
all
were
going to be
imperiled.
shouting,
It's fine.
at least simmer down.
Looking down at the other end of the pool, you can see the Lady of Love now staring intently towards all of you. I'm quite enjoying my soak, so either come and join me or shut up.
Sorry, lady. My fiance and her friend were being loud. We'll be over in a second.
As he says that, you see Basil look over at V and just mouth the word Beyonce.
Oh, shut up. Obviously, it's not real. Right, Scrump? Right?
Yeah, totally. Didn't have the paperwork started at all.
All right.
Goblin wedding papers? Man, I can't wait to see that.
A lot of paperwork. They're very
I'm going
documented.
straight to Etsy after this, let me tell you.
Yeah. A lot of stick drawings.
Veal just immediately beeline it for this pool.
Okay. As you begin to
Basil
step
will. Oh, sorry.
as you begin to
I
step
was gonna say Basil will. Okay.
All right, go ahead, Basil.
I was gonna say I'm gonna wait a couple more moments for Wilhelm because I love Wilhelm.
We've not
Goddammit!
got to.
Okay.
You guys go ahead. I'll wait for Wilhelm here if you want to talk to the lady.
Well,
I'll
they're
nod at Scrump
waiting. V will talk to the lady and say, "Hello, I'm V. We don't have much time. Our friend is in danger. I'm wondering if you could pull him into this book for us. That would be a great start to whatever we are about to converse. He was supposed to be here. I don't know what happened. I'm assuming bad things because that always happens to us. If you could get him back, I would really, really appreciate it."
Yes. Well, first and foremost, I'm not letting you into my waters with that. And she motions towards the flute sword on your side. She waves her hand as it seems to disappear into the steam. You can have that back later.
I'm typically very attached to my daggers and my swords, but right now I am more concerned about a friend, Wilhelm. If you would please do whatever you need to do to help him get here or us there, whatever the situation is, that'd be great.
Does he hold the book?
Probably not.
Well, there's not much I can do here then.
But do you know where the book is? Do you know where you reside in the real world?
I have to presume that it's with my champion. But you are all so tense. You really need to relax. Come, join my waters.
All right.
Isn't he
we'll
like bleeding
cover,
everywhere right now?
Yeah, like a
Open
fucking-
wounds.
Fucking
Just
kidding me? Yeah,
big old hole in your neck.
gashes, 2 dagger holes. Fucking done.
Barely standing.
Fine. And she'll just take off like all of her armor, whatever. So she's down to like, I don't know, whatever, her undergarments, and she'll get in.
Okay. As you slowly move into the wading pool, you feel the warmth of it moving up your body the deeper that you go in. And as you walk through the water, you feel all of your wounds now starting to close and heal. Looking at the damage now receding, she gives you a smile. Love heals all wounds.
Oh, God. Thank you, I suppose. It does feel a lot better.
Yes, I'm sure it will. And to the other 2 boys, come join us.
Will might show up.
Basil will put a hand on Scrump's shoulder and then turn, heading towards the bathhouse. He sees V and kind of averts his eyes a little bit, realizing obviously that, much like the Joy Place, this is kind of the nature of it, and he disrobes, kind of leaving his underwear sort of on, it's kind of like the tabard, sort of just the lower half of it.
Mm-hmm.
You see that Basil's body is covered in those bruises, like rather than any actual lacerations or stuff from sword wounds and stuff. Maybe something on his arm, but most of it was impact damage and brain damage. So I'm just gonna very tenderly slide into the warm water. Thank you for your protection and your hospitality.
You're very welcome. Basil, as you slip into the waters, you feel the wounds heal as well. The cracked rib easily replaced, finding its place once more.
Whew. Oh, I must say that's quite remarkable.
It is. And you, my little goblin friend, please come join us. Your friend, I'm sure, will
okay. I don't think my hands are normally this color anyway. And he holds them up, and they're just black from the frost damage he took. Yeah, it should be fine.
Well, at least let me offer you some refreshments. She looks back towards the attendee, rubbing her shoulder. Axe, will you go attend to our friends here? He stands up.
Why, oui, I will, my dear mistress.
Axe stands out of the waters. You can see half of his body now completely made of brass, almost like a statue. You can also see why he is named Axe, as the lower half of his body is revealed.
It's really tiny in comparison to his top half.
I don't call him the Great Axe for nothing.
Okay. All right, I'll come in, but if I start to sink, someone's got to save me. Scrump's going to take off his
I'll
backpack.
save.
Okay. He's going to take off his backpack.
We ought to be wed, right, Scrump? We ought to be wed?
yeah. Yeah. Scrump's just gonna get like really excited about this. He's gonna take off his pack, strip down to his undergarments, which you see have cool little race carts on them, like stripes and stuff. And then he's gonna cannonball into the pool.
Okay. A large splash throws up.
I really
all
want to
around.
see Scrump in floaties. Like, drawing somebody, please.
I was very
Bobby,
close.
just
I was
because you
very,
said
very
that,
close.
and he is an artificer. I feel like he would have floaties. of
You know,
some type.
floaties.
Yeah, dude, he would.
All right, does Scrump want to put his artificer floaties on before he gets in?
He's gonna start blowing them up, just one at a time.
Okay.
Get him up there. Yeah.
Made from what looks like a modified water skin that easily wraps around both of his tiny arms.
He embroidered some cool little sailboats in them. But yeah, so yeah, we're gonna get in the water. He's gonna try to relax. Yeah, thanks, lady. I kind of needed this. Oh, sorry. You say this is powered by love?
This whole realm is powered by love.
Ah.
As much as I'm sure that you have with your fiancée. She gives a little bit of a look, knowing full well there's no relation between the two of you.
Hey, do you think that you could make love explosive?
Love is already quite dangerous in its own right.
That's what I'm thinking. It should make a pretty big bomb.
A love bomb. Interesting. Something I've never considered before. But love also heals. You see, love is the great equalizer, able to cause great damage, to inspire, to heal. There's many, many things that love can do. That's why I consider myself the middle ground of all of the sympaths.
I never believed in it. Every time Scrump thinks he starts to like someone, they're all like, it's fine, Scrump, you're just a cool friend. And he's all like, probably shouldn't have felt that way anyway. And so it just doesn't exist. If it would have come my way.
Oh, I all but disagree, my small friend. You see, love finds you in strange times. Not when you're looking for it. In fact, it's the complete opposite. Love comes to those when they're ready for it. Are you ready for it? Truly?
I stopped listening. I was too distracted by my floaties losing some air. Hang on. He's gonna kind of swim out to the side, start trying to reinflate one of his floaties.
She turns her attention back to V and Basil. You two, on the other hand. Very interesting.
Nothing interesting over here. In fact, I don't know. Why do you say that?
Yeah, I mean, it's just we're just colleagues, friends.
We're just colleagues. He has a girlfriend now. Actually, you're champion.
Oh, congratulations, Basil. That's awesome.
So again, I just want to reiterate that I was simply enacting a pact or a treaty with an ally that has clearly proven at least well enough to be able to have saved us from the precarious situation. Need I remind you that was suddenly thrust upon you, which we haven't discussed as to how the first sword found us.
Well, that may or may not have been my fault.
Your fault.
Yes, I was trying to get information and something happened. Yes.
Well, I mean,
Are you giving me
don't let
something?
me stop you there.
Are you giving... Well, if in case everyone wants to hear the story again, I was trying to get information, which I got some great information, by the way. I found out that the Crimson Herald is working with the Lucrums, which is not good for us, but whatever. And I'm not sure where I stumbled. I think it was I didn't quite get. He was talking about a double meaning of the name of this place that we were at, the Saffron, and I didn't know what it was, and I think that's what tipped him off. Next thing you know, there were 5 people knocking at our door, actually barging it down. So, but I'll be sure to thank your girlfriend for saving me.
She is not my. And Basil just starts to very flusteredly try to make up excuses, and he drops his glasses into the water, and he dives under the water, and he's pretending like he's looking for them, as he's just there going.
You stand here or sit here, squabbling, in the presence of a god, and yet you sit and bicker.
Wait, lady, you're a god? I thought you just owned a cool pool.
I like this one.
Hey, could you bring Wilhelm here if you're a god? We kind of miss him and I'm worried about him. Or maybe send me to Wilhelm. That would work too.
Unfortunately, my little friend, it doesn't work that way. Now, to you two.
Could you send a message to Wilhelm?
Axe, could you come here for a moment? You see the large half-brazen individual walking over to the pool, now holding a large
I see why
tray.
it's called Axe now.
A large tray of grapes and a cornucopia of other fruits and vegetables. Yes, my lady. I've brought refreshments for you all. Shall I feed them to you? No, but you could feed it to that one. As she points over to Scrump. Right away, mistress. As he now enters into the pool, holding the platter above, just at about shoulder height. As he begins to feed you grapes, one at a time, Scrump.
Scrump for a moment. It's like, oh, feed me the grapes. Yeah, okay, we could do that. But I'm still worried about Wilhelm.
He continues to force grapes into your mouth.
Glad it's grapes.
Now, the other two, in the middle of your non-lovers quarrel, or whatever this is. It seems you are relatively up to date on the happenings in the outside world. And you've met Vespera. And not to worry, V. Vespera holds no one true love. But has she told you of my intentions?
She says that you wish to be freed, along with the other sympaths. With all of them released, there is balance in the spectrum, and a different age, one that is far less restrained, can be brought to this world.
Very true. What do you think of it, Basil?
I am optimistically cautious. Obviously, the nature of my patron is fear, and so that dwells on a lot of how I consider things, whether it's personal or through these plans. I fear what may happen. I fear how people may perceive such raw emotion.
I can understand, especially with your connection to my brother. Fear is not too far off from love sometimes. In fact, some would say that before love is confessed, that fear is the emotion that many feel. Afraid to admit to themselves how they feel. And you are correct, it is a spectrum. Unfortunately for you, and no offense to be had, I hope, fear is on one opposite side of the spectrum, as is rage. But they are the furthest from the others, where individuals like myself, like Joy, reside somewhere in the center, a more neutral standpoint. But there are great goods as well. Hope, valor. These are things that seem to have escaped the mortal's grasp in our absence. Long, long ago, I too felt fear. Fear of what Tukor and Elskar were capable of doing. We thought it best that the sympaths hide themselves away for good of the mortal realm. Yes, our imprisonment is voluntary and still is to this day. From what Vespera's told me of the outside world, it is in drastic need of assistance. From town to town, city to city, emotions seem muted, instead given way to mortal vices of power and wealth. This is what the mortals have come to. I ask you, is this a world truly meant to be lived in?
No. Truth be told, even the city that we come from, Dawnsgate, is filled with such an absence of things like hope and love. Many people are repressed, many people are kept down and remain so from those who would benefit from greed and power. And I don't know, I'd be lying if I said that at the very least a little more love in the world would be much needed.
A great, great philosopher. I learned from many, many, many years ago, before even your greatest of grandfathers' times, once said to me, all you need is love.
I have a question. Since we are in the presence of a god, and the god that wants us to assist in freeing themselves and a bunch of others, what is your plan when you are released?
Well, that's easy. To remake this world, to build it up once again, to find that balance that is so needed. In a godless world like this, it is sad. Mortals all strive for power, for gold. They mute themselves with distractions, not allowing themselves to truly express themselves, worried that others might judge them. That is not a world we should live in.
And maybe this is due to my lowly sense of intelligence compared to a god, but how do you intend on suddenly changing all that? You said rewrite. Will you come in and just remove people from power, or what is the plan? I don't understand. You'll just show up and people will worship you and suddenly be good and whole.
People need leaders to follow. They are drawn to it. No offense, once again, to be had, but mortals on the whole are flocks of sheep, willing to follow the loudest, the most boisterous, regardless of what their intent is. There's a difference between an accumulation of oneself through celebrityism and those that truly wish to lead. And this world is lacking right now. I believe we can change that. For one simple reason. We are not selfish.
Follow-up question. You talk about balance between you and the other sin paths. Say for some
Yes.
unfortunate circumstances, the Nightmare King doesn't make it out of his prison. What happens?
Either we're all freed or none of us are freed. Those are the bonds that tie us, that keep us here.
I understand. You mentioned your imprisonment was voluntary. And Elskar seems to, well, at the very least, now protest his imprisonment. But he was not so forthcoming with how, if at all, we will be able to break the seal.
There is a reason for that. When we decided to imprison ourselves, there was only one way. That the books must all be rekindled together and destroyed. On their destruction, and only when together again can we finally be released.
How do you destroy such a powerful item?
There are ways. But the best that is known is a sacred flame. And there's only one person who can burn a bright light that hot. Vespera.
Who's that? Oh.
This is why I've chosen her as my champion. With her innate power combined with a burning love, that is why she seeks to release us all. She understands. The question is, do you? The way I see it, there are but few options. We have a unique opportunity. Well, once again, the books, tomes, come together once more, with a number of individuals seeking for that objective. In the inevitable event that they do come together, the way I see it, there's three options. One, you either allow the Crimson Herald to enact their plan, bring forth the Butcher, one who's known for savagery. All that will be left in his wake is void and death. Yes, there may be some who survive, but they'll just be living, never truly alive. Number 2, the world remains godless. And Vespera has told me of the state of a godless world. And number 3, you use this opportunity to bring the tomes together again and release us from our captivities. The mortals have failed. We never assumed it would be paradise, but we never thought it would come to this point. And it seems the decision resides in you and your companion's hands.
This is a lot. All right, second follow-up question. Say we do actually release everyone, everything succeeds, we all survive. Yay, you are free. How much power do you have over the Nightmare King? I have a little predicament with him. He seems... I'm gaining fiancés by the day, and he seems to think that that's part of his plan for me, which I tend to fight.
Yes, well, being the youngest of all of us, fear, and in turn Elskar, are always quite short-sighted. Very much present in the moment, but when the moment passes, almost like they're not there at all. You mustn't worry about Elskar. The only I truly worry about is Tukor. But I believe, as we did in the past, we can deal with Tukor.
What did he try to do in the past?
Well, I assumed you would have already known, but he attempted to take hold of all.
Classic God stuff.
Your friend is not wrong.
Not wrong, Scrump.
Please, you must meet more of the grapes.
I've had too many grapes. I'm already full. All right, one more.
Would you like a back rub then?
That was an option to begin with. You see him as he kind of like shifts his weighted stomach over to the side. He's like, rub me.
Oh. Kind of
Can't.
massages your shoulders a little bit as he rubs your now bloated belly
That's it.
as you
Right in
float
between
on
the
the waters
backpack
of
straps.
I think that right now we have a lot to consider, and we thank you for your wise counsel. Without all the books, the decision can't be made in the first place. Right now, there is only one book yet inaccessible. Well, technically 3, but one in particular. There's a book being held in the palace vaults, in the libraries, that are heavily guarded. I know that we've only just allied ourselves with the Book of Lust and its champion, but I don't suppose there's anything you could offer to perhaps help us acquire this book before Tukor and the Crimson Herald do.
Unfortunately, my powers are taken by the champion. Very similar to Elskar. and Tukor, from what I've been told. Vespera will assist you where needed. But this is a fight that you must take on your own. I can't walk your journey for you.
Of course. And you've already done so much. I look over at V to see if there's anything else we need to...
I am just having a hard time focusing because we're sitting here in a nice little bubble bath. Well, something probably terrible is happening to Wilhelm.
That's what
And
I've been
I know
saying.
you keep telling... Yes, I know you keep telling me to calm down and to, I'm in the presence of a god, but is there something we can do? Can you contact Vespera? Maybe because they, she is friends with somebody. Maybe she can find out where they are if they took Wilhelm. Get us in there. Anyway, we could pop out of the book wherever he is. Just anything to help, really.
Actually, that is an actually excellent point. Could you potentially connect to the love that Wilhelm has for Petunia? Maybe at least then we could know where it might be that we can direct our attention.
Unfortunately, companionship like that is not easily sensed. I will assist Vespera in trying to find your friend, but it will take some time.
All right. Well, in which case, I think we've enjoyed our soak long enough, and if we are to make any headway, we should begin soon. Could you release us back into Dawnsgate?
Yes. Vespera has notified me that she is clear of your previous surroundings. Seems the danger has subsided. She's ready to release you from the book. She motions her hands towards the archway to which you came in from. The door is there.
So this whole place is a book? I'm a little confused.
It is a little strange. But no one's going to look for a prison in a book.
Chemistry doesn't make sense, but okay. Let's get out of here. But when we leave, where are we going to exit at? Also, I'm probably going to throw up all my grapes.
No, not my grapes!
I'm sorry, I can't help it. It's when I teleport.
Oh, no!
It wasn't a waste. They were delicious, and your service was impeccable. Also, your giant member, very nice.
I have cut down many a tree, metaphorically speaking.
Oh my god.
I have
I'm gonna
whacked.
need,
I have whacked through many bushes.
I'm gonna need not my
No!
grapes to be my new notification text.
Not my grapes.
No, not my grape.
Not my grapes.
Basil will stand up in the bath and slowly pull himself out. The water kind of like pouring over his body as he does so. Basil sort of like takes a moment to like wring out his long hair as he starts to slowly redress with his clothes.
Okay. As you all start to re-robe yourselves, eventually making your way out of the pool's waters and moving towards the exit once more, Athena calls back to all of you. hope this gave you some clarity. And I do hope that we meet once again someday.
It was actually nice to meet you. For what that's worth.
You as well. As you all begin to make your way out the doorway proper, walking through the threshold, you once again feel the strange tug of teleportation as it pulls you away from this realm once more. You stumble out onto stone. And as you look around, you get a beautiful view from atop the highest towers of Dawnsgate. Just as the sunrise begins to crest on the horizon. Standing a few feet away from you, you see Vespera standing there, now fully in her typical form. You can see her reddish skin, her beautiful leathery wings, and a very small tail that spreads out from behind her. So, an interesting trip, per se?
Yes. I must say I was not expecting her to be so breathtaking, I suppose is the word. She's quite she's something else for sure.
She is the Lady of Love.
Crosses her arms and rolls her eyes.
So where do we go from here?
Yes,
the
it was
question.
it was very informative. Our friend Wilhelm, the large gentleman, he was with us when you sent the book to help us. By the way, thank you for that. Probably would have died, so it's great. But our friend is not with us. Do you know what happened to him?
He was taken by the first sword.
Ah, crap.
Not far from here, and she walks over to the edge of the rooftop before pointing down. That building there. You now see the large banner with the golden sword to crest it. That's where you can find him.
Can you
Well,
help
what
us?
are we waiting for then? Once I put my pool floaties away, let's go.
Look, that is a fortress, and I don't know if you were there for that fight, but we got our prospective behinds handed to us. If we need to
We'll
save
walk up to the
Wilhelm-
gate, I'll turn them on to horses. It's bulletproof.
Look, Scrump, I appreciate your horsepowers as much as the next person. No, that's a lie. I hate your
They're
horsepowers.
pretty great.
Anyway, I think we need the others. I think we should take a moment, catch our breath, and see if we can find Sicarius and Tristan. We'll need them for the fight ahead.
Take a moment. We already lost Oksana, and now Wilhelm is in there. Who knows for how long?
If I could give a few words of caution. Not to be blunt, but you've just had your asses handed to you twice over. By 5 of them. You're about to walk into their stronghold. You really think you stand a chance? I admire your passions, V, but use your head for once.
Can't you go in and get him out?
And how would you like me to do that? Simply walk through and not be stabbed?
Well, I thought you were friends with Saffron, with the guy who owns the Saffron, and he called the guards on us. So maybe you're all friends. I don't know.
For a price, yes. I don't see Saffron being able to manipulate the laws within this town. You are all wanted for murder, thievery, and a long list of other things. I know he's your friend, V. But going in headlong, you'll lose more than you'll gain.
Fine, I don't like this. I don't like it one bit.
And I'm not saying that we leave either Oksana or Wilhelm to whatever fate they're going to manage. We just
We need to regroup. I get it. Goblins are stronger together, so when I'm with you guys, it only makes sense. We're all stronger together. But what if we take too long and something happens to Wilhelm?
look. Wilhelm's face isn't in the sky. He wasn't associated with us when all the stuff happened. I mean, maybe they'll just ask him a few questions and turn him loose. I mean, what would they possibly do to someone if they don't have any proof?
I mean, I could start a list.
I feel like, is it safe to say V would know, like, that not good things would happen from her, like, you know, shit with the city and stuff?
You would assume that anyone associated with you caught by the first sword, not great things would happen.
Okay. Yeah, no, Basil. That is more than optimistic thinking this time. Unfortunately. I don't think he is safe at all. And frankly, even if he did decide to talk, he doesn't have a lot of information about anything that we're doing. He came to be with us, what, 2 days ago? 3 days
What if
ago
he gives
now?
them all the secrets on butter, and we're not there to hear them? I don't want to read the book. That's a big book.
No, that's why we have to get him back.
Agreed.
Yes.
So maybe we should find a way to call for the others and have them meet us over there.
Did we come up with like sort of a rendezvous regroup for both Sicarius and Tristan after they were doing their thing?
Assumably back at the manor.
Yeah, I'd probably suggest at least for the time being I don't know. Maybe Scrump. Your face is also not in the sky.
Not yet. I mean, don't put me down. I still have a chance.
I more mean, maybe do you have any associates that could keep their eyes and ears on this place? See if they can find out if at all, where Wilhelm is and what they might be planning.
I like throwing my titles around. I mean, ever since my fiance and I decided to settle down, it's just, it's the last time I wanted to do it. I could see if we can drum up some people. Worst case scenario, we pay someone. I'm pretty sure somebody could make a gold coin by watching a place.
I look at my purse and I go, a gold coin, you say?
Bronze.
Keep going.
Pocket lint.
I got a cola bottle cap.
When about 2,000 years, those will be premium currency. Just
All right.
wait until you see the 60s.
While this is all very interesting and all, I don't see this as being my fights right now.
No.
She reaches into a pouch and produces a beautiful ruby stone, carved out in the shape of a heart. She hands it over to you, Basil. If you need to call for me, use this. In the meantime, until I hear from you again, I will try and gather more information on the Crimson Herald and what her plans are.
Thank you. And
If it assists, I also found out that she is working with the Crimson Heralds, working with the Lucrams. From your friend. Seem to know a great deal about that.
Perhaps another visit is in order. And with
Thank
that,
And, oh, Vespera, I just wanted to say, I appreciate everything you've done for us.
glad I could assist. But the way I see it, we're all in the same team here. Let's not forget that. As she turns away from all of you, climbing up to the edge of the long drop down, she looks back and gives one last wink before once again vanishing into the ethereal plane.
How do we get down from here?
I suppose we could just teleport back to the manor. Don't think we need to worry about getting down. We should go there as fast as possible. Look, I don't have a lot of people in my life. Oksana is already gone. Wilhelm has been with us for what feels like seconds, and we've already gotten him in trouble. I can't lose any more people. We've lost a whole person. We've lost Grimoire forever. That is gone. I can't... We have to go back now and find Sicarius and Tristan.
We will. Come on, Scrump. And I'm going to take my ring and teleport.
Basil vanishes.
Oh, wait, Scrump. We're going to settle down.
I said it as a thing to get out of there, but I don't know if you want to be princess of a goblin kingdom. Your music's great. They would love you over there. But, we...
You know what?
Whatever. Anyway, bye. He's going to flick out.
All right. V will go too.
With a bit of a smile, V grasps onto her ring before teleporting back to the manor proper. Wilhelm. As the night passed, you were left alone within your cell. Before the door creaks open in the morning, you see the captain with a guard standing behind her. Well, I hope you've said your piece to whatever it is you believe in.
I have, yes.
Good. She looks over to the guard. Bring him to the gallows. The guard now pushing past, undoing your chains for a moment before clasping the anti-magic irons around your wrists once more. He pushes you harshly and aggressively forward. Move!
The push doesn't... He seems very defeated. You could, the guard could probably tell by the way the push was so effortless that he almost stumbled forward.
Not worry, miss. I'll bring him to the gallows. Yes. And I'll be watching front row.
I hope one day you do find something truly worth fighting for.
As he walks past.
The long, dark corridor is deafening in silence. A few torchlight guides the ways down the hall. You pass a number of other cells along the way. The guard continues to shove once in a while just to keep you moving. Eventually you hit the end of the corridor where a large set of double doors. 2 guards stand on either side, and as you approach, they push the doors open. Your eyes have to adjust to the morning daylight. As you're taken out into a large courtyard, directly in front of you, a large platform hanging just above a number of nooses. The guard continues to push you forward as a number of individuals begin to gather around the gallows. You can see the captain and the rest of the first sword standing and waiting and watching. Make a perception check for me.
Is a 22.
Hey,
22.
right when we need it.
As the guard gets a little bit closer to you for one last shove, you hear him whisper in a voice you haven't heard in a while. You're going to have to trust me on this. As you look back to see what looks like the tail end of a flute sticking from his belt line. As he leads you up the gallows stairs, putting the noose around your neck. Petunia's fine, by the way.
Oh,
Thank God.
You just gonna make us wait like that?
fuck.
You feel him put his hand on the nape of your back before everything begins to grow cold. You feel your limbs starting to get heavy and your vision starting to become blurred. As the guard now moves over towards what looks like a lever. Your vision now fading more and more. Before the last thing you see is the captain nod toward the guards. And the guard placing his hand on the lever. As everything goes dark. But that, my friends, is going to be a story for another day.
Dave!
The
Dave!
roller coaster in that
Can't.
episode.
Damn.
Ah, damn.
Oh my god.
Petunia's alive, guys. Don't worry.
We can all breathe.
Oh,
Chat doesn't have to tear it
thank
down.
God.
There was a mob forming in Discord.
Yeah, man. Ugh.
I'm not that brutal, guys. Come on.
It felt like that scene felt like a real interrogation for a second because I almost broke. I was like, I can't let Petunia die. I was like, there's no way. I can't let that happen. And I was just like, gotta double down.
Listen, I am not a monster. I am a storyteller. That's what I'm here to do. And what am I going to do? Not leave you on the edge of your seat? Come on.
Ah.
Rude.
But with that said, guys, thank you so much for joining us for the evening. It has been an absolute pleasure, as it always is. Whether you're watching us live right now, you're listening to us on Spotify, or hey, if you're hanging out with us on YouTube, thank you once again. We're going to be gone for the next 2 weeks, mostly because of Gen Con. You'll be able to see us there. It's going to be a great time. We are going to be streaming the entire event from the floor right here on this channel. So if you can't make it to Gen Con and still want to check it out in all of its glory, come hang out with us. And hey, if you're not in a Discord already to get those notifications, you might want to. It's a good time. It's a good time.
A lot of cool fan art on there too.
Yeah. A lot of cool fan art. Lots and lots of cool fan art.
Yeah.
We are going to do some raiding for the evening because God knows we've been raided enough times. We can only give back to the community at this point. Why not? Help those who helped us, right? I think that's the right thing to do.
Oh, yeah.
So, Bobby,
Yeah.
do me a favor. It's been a minute. Buy me some time, buddy.
So, oh man, guys, what an episode, huh? Like,
Wow.
and you know, as on the edge of the seat, as I think it brought all of us.
Mhm.
You should be on the edge of your seat for Careful Cantrip Platinum.
Right.
Man,
Right.
I mean, it's been in the making for a long time, and guys, we have some stuff to talk about at Gen Con about CCP. Probably, maybe, I don't know. I'm making
Did I
this
hear
up.
if they call
huge,
now
huge
that they could
announcements.
possibly get a
Huge
2-for-1
announcements
deal?
about CCP coming out of Gen Con. It is. Whew, I can't even begin to describe all of the announcements that are coming.
Yeah,
Dave, maybe you should
I
at least
mean,
tease the guest that's going to be making the announcement, because I can't believe you got this person to do so.
I'm not going to say that their initials are MM. I'm not going to say that out loud. I'm
No,
not going to
can't
say
say
that
it.
out loud.
Can't say
I'm
it.
just listen, guys.
Mhm.
It is it's something that we're all going to be amazed of. I'm blown out of the water when you find out who exactly it is. Okay, I'd love to raid Gen Con, but I can't because they don't allow raids. So they suck, and I love them,
Right.
but they
So
suck.
smart.
I know, right? We will go see. Who we're gonna go see? We will go see our friends. We can go see Art Heart. We'll go see Art Heart. Art Heart's huge
Bam.
supporters of ours. Great people over there, guys. If you're not already following, give them some love when you get over there because hey, amazing peeps over there. Art Heart. There they are. Hashtag CC love raid. That's what we do. Hold on. Hashtag CC love raid. And then do the icon things. I really need to set up like a thing where I can just do the thing from it. Do this. Do this
There,
if
I
you
put
can.
it in.
Perfect. Fantastic. That is our raid message. I'm going to go ahead and start the raid for the evening. But to all the adventurers out there, before I leave you, whether finding yourselves in a strange brothel, or hey, asking yourselves the question, who wrote the Book of Love? I beg of you all, one word of caution. Be careful out there. You could trip. Love you all, and we'll see you soon.
Bye, guys.
Take care.
Bye bye.
It was Lucy. Lucy wrote the Book
Bye-bye.
of Love, guys.